what it do? It's your boy Grade A Dre, the PBG Unplugged podcast, man. We got the legendary man himself, Shannon Washington, man. Tell them folks who he is, baby.
Hey, what's up? It's Shannon Washington, a Trillium Shakespeare on Instagram. Glad to be on the show, man.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. You know what I'm saying? So, for those who don't know, Shannon was one of the first directors who gave me a shot. We did 3,000 letters together, so that was a success amongst the film community, especially the Houston community. They talking about that movie, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, that was a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, no. I look at it. There's still a lot of people who ain't watched it, man.
Right, for sure.
Know it's out there.
For sure.
I get DMs and, man, I just seen 3,000 letters. So you can still see it's like people still kind of getting put on it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what was the matter of fact, we gonna take it all the way back. What got you like in the game? You know what I'm saying? What was one of your first films, and what inspired you to say, you know what, I'm finna just straight direct?
So shit. I'm gonna say officially started. I think I've been writing and doing skits since I was like, I had my older cousins doing that shit in the living room. You know what I mean? I write some shit, they acted out. We was just doing stupid shit, or the neighborhood homies and shit. We would do shit, get a hold of the camcorder, do some shit like that's way back. You know, shit, 99, not before way like 94, 93.
Right.
But like when I was in college, I played sports. I went to school for a scholarship and shit. After I ended up quitting football. Track was football one of them things where you don't have no time.
Right.
So it's on your ass every day. You don't got a chance to be bored because they consuming all your time. Once I quit football, I was running track. That shit like took an hour a day, 2 hours a day.
Right.
So I was bored out of my mind. I had a friend of mine who was writing. He was in like I guess drama, and they had to write a play, stage play, and they was going. I guess the person who had the best stage play, I guess the class, they would act that out and then go like compete with the play that won. So he loved the acting part of it, but he didn't want to write the shit. So he was like, bro, I don't want to write this shit. I said, man, what you got to write? So I wrote the shit, just fucking around. His shit ended up winning when he was in college, and they actually won. I don't know, I forgot what it was called, but they did some competitions with other like D2 schools or whatever like that. So he ended up winning. So then I was like, the fuck? And it was fun writing. You get to create characters and shit. So that's my first time actually script writing. So then from there, I wrote some shit and came back to Houston from college. And one of the first things that I tried to do was something called Monet, which is I think how I met a lot of the actors that I still know today from that script. We did a casting call, and a lot of people came in. So that's how I got, I guess, introduced into the Houston film community was with that movie. That's probably like, 2008 maybe when I first, then, obviously, it's I think filmmaking got to be the hardest thing. It's harder than NBA basketball. It's harder than NFL. I mean, it's harder than any other form of entertainment, because even in boxing, even though those sports where it's hard to be at that level, those sports have like what would you call it? There's adaptation each level of that, right? You got little leagues, right? But you got little league has its own following. Like them niggas be going to Denver,
right?
Man, you know what I mean? Basketball, you got AAU. So it's in sports because it's so. I guess widespread is people. You got people who in junior high watching the little league kids. They know who
coming next, yo.
High school watching junior high, they know who coming next year. College watching high school kids, they know who coming next year. You got then you got NFL watching college.
Right.
Ain't nobody watching no 6-year-old nigga in drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. Facts.
Even then, he ain't directing shit. You know what I mean? So nobody watching them kids.
It's just cute. It ain't entertaining.
Even when you graduate from college, if you went to school at some of the finest arts academies you can go to, nobody give a fuck in Hollywood, right? You gotta, so it's one of them things where you really got to get it out the mud and put in the work, because it's no level of okay, this dude just graduated college. He's the best actor in the.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it don't matter how good you are. You still have to figure out a way to broadcast that talent. You know what I mean? There's no DP of the year awards.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's none of that shit. So you kind of gotta figure out how you get somebody to see your work. So you know, it's hard for that reason. Because of that reason, a lot of people don't understand why you trying to do it.
Right.
You know, it's almost like a nigga 40 years old and he rapping, and you like, damn, a nigga, like, you cold.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to produce
Right.
or start a record label.
Right.
Not even hating on him, because you know he could make it at 45. But it's that energy that people give you because they ain't seen it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially in Houston, we not a place where you can point at. Like in California, they get it, right? But it's so many, it's so saturated. But they understand because you may walk out the door and see Spike Lee.
Right.
You know what I mean? In Houston, there's not a person, I would say, who live in Houston right now, who really didn't leave, where you could say that's a nigga in Hollywood that's a household name.
Right.
In acting or even in the directing sense of it. You know what I mean? Or DP, whatever. So I think it's hard for people to accept that's what you're doing. So the support don't get there. People don't want to
Right.
support you until they feel like you already made it.
Right.
But at that point, you know, I mean,
You already made it.
You appreciate the support, but you know, it's not the same. So,
man, I wanna piggyback off what you said about the colleges or about the schools. So, being that this is like a free form of artistic style, creativity, you know what I'm saying? All those things. Do you feel like film school is necessary?
I mean, I didn't go to film school, so and I don't. I mean, it's sometimes I'll be on set and I'll be hearing them motherfuckers say some shit. What the fuck is
Yeah, I'll be doing that. Say, I'll be
what is
like,
that? So I mean, I think to get the technical shit down,
right,
you probably you should, right? But the technical part, you can know all that shit. If you don't have a creative aspect or you're not a creative person, it don't really matter, right?
Right.
It's like I can give you all the tools,
yeah,
and you can know how to use it. But if you can't use it outside of, that's what make art special. You know what I mean? It's
outside of that simulation.
everybody got a paintbrush in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I can teach you how to the brush, but I can't make you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's down there like you can teach a technique, but you can't teach a skill.
Exactly.
You
So
know what
it's
I'm
like
saying? Or you can teach a skill, you can't teach a technique. Yeah.
So it's one of them things where I wouldn't discourage anybody to not go, but I think most people, I would say most people in Hollywood didn't probably go.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's just crazy because you got so many, like you got the film academies and these type of things. And it's just like, in my opinion, I feel like they need to come to the nitty gritty of it. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the best shit probably ain't even on YouTube or on any kind of platform. It's probably still waiting to get made. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know for me, I tip my hat out to you for being one of those, like, you one of the people I seen, push through, like, this is what we doing. You know what I'm saying? You done brought big names out here to the city. You know what I'm saying? And actually done those films here. You know what I'm saying? So if you was riding by somewhere and you seen some people outside with some cameras and you might have seen a celebrity, this man probably had him out here. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he done been in the hood.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying? Like the hood. So from one of your most recent projects, I know we was talking yesterday, you was like, you got a movie coming up with Slim. Can we touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So we got a movie. It's like the working title. I think they may change it, but the working title of that film is Double Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Slim had a real, like, I think genuine. It was a dope idea, and he made a good point that in Houston, there hasn't really been that film that captured the culture of Houston. You know what I mean? If you look at even Bricks, if you look at a lot of these movies, even Dirty Third, like, they great movies, but they don't. You could take them same characters, move them to L.A., move them to Atlanta, move them to whatever. Change it wouldn't be Dirty Third in West Coast, but you could take some of those things and it can still work. The same exact movie. You just change.
And it's crazy. I never thought about that.
The title, the name, it's the same movie.
Yeah.
If you look at like how Hollywood is California, right? So when you model the mecca of an industry, which is California, sometimes you model the things that look good to you, and that's the landscaping, the vernacular of the people, the way they dress, the way they talk. So then those places become filmmaking. So filmmakers is watching avidly, right? So what happens is you have those people trying to create what California has, but California didn't like purposely try to sell you that.
Right.
This is what California is. And because it's successful, Hollywood looks like Hollywood, right? So then as a novice or a new filmmaker or people who trying to get into filmmaking, the first things that that we do, we want to make films that are in Hollywood, right? Because that's we want to hire Hollywood actors. We want to hire the actors who've been trained to act, but those actors been trained to be Hollywood, right? So what happens when you're not from Hollywood or you're not from California, you're not for those places that like New York,
Right.
LA, it takes away from the culture of the film.
Right.
And what makes Hollywood movies, what made them movies powerful, what made Straight Outta Compton make $300 million, because not because it was a Hollywood movie, because it's rich on their character.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the location play a character in those films. So that made it powerful. But if you look at the Houston films and some of the other films, they lack the culture. You can shoot the best looking film, whatever, but what makes a film great is when the location play a character. So in this film, what they wanted to do, they wanted to put a lot of like Houston natives, not just Houston natives, like Houston natives who have that over a period of time have a strong, cultural presence in the city. So I think, I know it's going to be a good film, but I think that it probably is truthfully one of the first movies in Houston, if not the first movie in Houston, that is trying to stay true to the character. And it's a lot of people there's a lot of actors who wanted to be in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they just, for the vision, it fit to put in the people they put in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's up. So, as far as like you said, like the movies that have been shot, I can agree with you on that. As far as like Straight Outta Compton, that shit was real. Like you couldn't do that nowhere else.
No, you couldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
But California movies are like that.
Right.
It's just because they got it first and they built that shit first, and it's been for so long. You thinking it's like that's what worked for them, but we don't take the fact that that's what California, that's what they look like, that's what they did.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you emulate something and you emulate it to the T, you not realize like the recipe ain't doing it like this. The recipe is doing it like how your city do it.
Yeah, doing it originally how it's done without the camera being on.
That's why The Wire was so successful.
Right.
It was gritty as fuck. It was like, what the fuck is this? Because you had Hollywood washing the shit out your shit, and then you like The Wire was raw.
Right.
You know what I mean? Raw. It was one of the rawest series I watched. So, but it was Baltimore. You know what I mean? First time I heard Snoop talk, I was like, what's the real?
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was
right.
it was, you know what I mean? You couldn't stop watching it. It was hard. So it's important to try to make sure that if you're doing an urban film that shows, the lifestyle of your city, to try to keep that, embody that presence, because that's what makes it powerful.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard. So y'all stay on the lookout for Double Cup, directed by Shannon Washington, man. You know what I'm saying? When do y'all go into filming?
Oh, the 8th. No, the 9th. We changed the date, the 9th. And we some birthday in September, so I think he's trying to put it out before his birthday, or at least on his birthday. So we should be able to watch that and see that on September. But it's a lot of names. I can't name all of them.
Right.
Not because I can't name them, but some of them it's still like we don't know for sure they're gonna do it. So I don't want to say people gonna be there and they don't. So
okay.
But it's gonna be, I would say, one of the most Houston legend cast. You know what I mean? Legendary cast that I've seen. I don't. You know what I mean? I know for sure we got Kiki, Slim. I don't think they ever been in the movie. I don't think y'all even seen Kiki in the movie.
Nah, we haven't.
Yeah. So and y'all gonna be surprised, man. He got some. He got something. So
But Kiki on his social media, he pretty funny, bro.
yeah. But no, but when you see
That nigga funny, bro.
we did a table reading, and I didn't know. I was like, you know, when Slim told me his vision, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, damn, I still got to direct these niggas.
Right.
Can they act?
Right.
And we sat down, and I'm looking, you know, and first line, I was like, oh, he finna eat this bitch. Like he went in, he rehearsed the lines already. He knew he went in and did it. We got, you know, Propane. Y'all seen Propane?
But you can pretty much tell who take what serious.
No, for
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? Like you can tell, like Lil Kiki seem like he'll like people that have longevity. You can't get there without taking your shit serious.
Like, so he came.
You know what I'm saying? So
he was ready. And then shout out to Dre. Dre put a lot of work in, drafted like a script that Jannard could put together. Slim, you know, had this idea. I think he said for like 2008, 12. It was a long time ago. So Slim had the idea for the movie. So, no, it's great, man. Everybody proud. We got Choco in it. We got my boy Jeff Shelley in it. It's some people in here, man. I know I'm missing a lot of names, but I know some people may or may not for sure be in it. But it's those the people who I know for sure. So.
Right. So I got a question. Being that these artists, Lil Kiki, the actor, artists Slim Thug, Lil Kiki, Choco, Jeff Shelley, being that they got such a direct to consumer market, how y'all like I know it might be a little too early, but are we gonna go straight to the fans? We going to the streaming platforms with it?
No. So the idea I think we're gonna do Tubi. I think one of the genius things that I think Slim and Kiki, you know, I mean a lot of those. One thing that's great about the city, and I made this point. I was arguing with somebody, and I don't even know where I got the point at. When we started talking about it, the point made sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and I may be wrong, so y'all tell me if I'm wrong. But I think the city of, let's say Texas, right? But I'm gonna say Houston right now because I know more about the Houston music. I don't think that there's a city in the country that can have platinum, like can have rappers that have platinum records, right? That aren't hot in other cities except for Houston. Like you gotta think about it. If you look at Jadakiss never been platinum, right? But Jadakiss is equally popular in every other city. Right. DMX got plenty of platinum records, but he's equally popular. He's just as popular from the city he's from as in Houston, as in Dakota, as in across the world. He equally notable for what he does. Like Tupac, anybody you can name, I would say. But if you go to Houston, there's people in Houston who killing. And you can go outside of Texas, and they may not even know who they are.
And they might not even know who they is.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
How powerful. That's how powerful the state of Texas is.
And I ain't gonna lie, like that's gonna be, man, that motherfucker gonna be a hit, bro.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of parts.
Because you got some power players, behind the camera and in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? And that's from marketing. That's from execution. That's from, you know what I'm saying, just delivering a product. The people that you name been delivering solid products for decades on decades. You know what I'm saying?
So it's been direct to the consumer.
Right.
So it's just like it's just the stuff that they
nigga might go platinum on the movie quick.
Man, I think they may break that bitch. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was like, I ain't get a point at two.
Yeah, for sure. Cause that's so let me ask you this, from the time that you first started your first distributed film all the way up until now, what can you say have changed, like about the marketplace in movies
on Tubi?
Just period, like whether it's from DVDs to streaming.
I mean, I think it's been I think technology evolves so quick. I mean, the AI, I don't even want to talk about the AI shit. Like, it's crazy, right? But when you talk about the streaming platforms and stuff like that, it's people not. I don't even. Last time I even physically seen a VCR,
Right.
or a DVD player, right? So everything streaming, you can access it on your phone. You can't hook no DVD up to your phone. So
Right.
everything is easy. Everything is in your pocket, in your hand, on your iPad. You know, smart TVs where you don't even got. You know what I mean? You don't even need cable right now.
Right.
So I think it's evolved so much that these streaming platforms and it's I think SVOD platforms lost $8 billion last year.
Mm.
So that's why you see Netflix doing what they doing and trying to make sure you ain't sharing it.
Right.
Everybody loses money at SVOD because it's so much competition that it's if I want to if I like TV shows, if I like the drama reality TV shows, I'm finna go get Zeus. I don't watch Netflix. I'm gonna go watch Zeus. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's so many different options for people to go pay for. Eventually, people stop paying. Like I ain't watching this shit. So people, you know what I mean. And then everybody who know about it's nobody who don't know about Netflix right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't get no new customers because everybody who know about them know about them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the marketing changed because you ain't marketing to build your brand. It's a brand already, right? So they got to find ways to make more money. So right now, AVOD is emerging again, which the misconception about people not watching commercials, like if you think about it, the best TV shows you can probably name got commercials.
For sure.
You know what I mean? All of Shonda Rhimes shit, all of Dick Wolf, all them. You know what I mean? Law and Orders, them shits got commercials.
Commercials
You're not
for
getting
sure.
past them commercials unless you wait till they come on Netflix or something.
Mm-hmm.
So those commercials ain't never been nowhere. You know what I mean? It ain't been on Power. Them niggas, he just got through saying he made what $250 episode or whatever it was. This was niggas in the 90s making $1 million episode on TV. You know what I mean? Because those advertisement dollars is stupid.
Right.
So what Tubi's doing is really what's been done for. Just been it has not been accessible for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? To do being able to create something, put it on a platform, and be able to benefit. I mean, that's what made Tyler Perry a billionaire. You know,
right.
Being able to have them ads. You see what I'm saying? Because he had the following already. He had the tools to do it. I think one of the most brilliant things he did was buy those TV slots, right? Because advertisement dollars is the highest paying thing in entertainment. You know what I mean? So I think that's where it's going is AVOD. I think the issue is right now it's saturated.
Right.
Right? You got people doing $5,000 films who don't know how to even do movies.
Right. So hold on. Let me stop you right there. Yeah. Do you think a $5,000 movie is possible, a good one?
I mean, the story could be possible, and not even just that. It's like this. It's a cheat code. Because if, for instance, you shoot movies, you know what you're doing. You've been doing it. Now, if I don't know what I'm doing, this is my first movie I'm finna shoot.
You're gonna need more than
$100,000 worth of equipment, right?
Yeah.
You got your team together who, shit, you know what? They making money. We gonna do this shit for free.
Right.
So that's not a $5,000 movie you shooting.
Right.
You spending $5,000. Right. But it's not a $5,000. You shot $40,000-$50,000 worth of shit.
Right.
So this dude $5,000 movie is a $5,000
right.
movie.
Okay, so I got you.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a difference based on the knowledge and the tools that you got.
Because I was saying that shit like I was putting that down, but now that you said it, it makes sense because it's like, all right, that might be what you about to spend, but that's definitely not what's went into it.
No, exactly,
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that makes sense because my shit be, you know what I'm saying. When I do my budgets for my personal projects, I probably spend 10, 15.
Yeah,
but
you would just $40,000-$50,000 worth for now, and probably more than that.
Right, and but then again, you not including a $6,000 camera.
That's gonna cost
a $2,500 lens set. You know what I'm saying? It might be a $2,500 lens, $700 mic. So yeah, we say that to say this: you can go spend $5,000, but you have to prior invest. Yeah. You got to get you some good things so alleviate some of your expenses. Don't go out there thinking like, oh, I got $5,000, I'm finna get a camera, mic.
Exactly.
a store.
Let me say something too. You hear us saying about 5,000, 10, 15,000 shoot. Don't be calling us talking about can you shoot movie 5, 10. What we said was we could do it because we got the tools in place, but that's because we finna get 100% of the back end.
Right.
We ain't doing no 10, 15,000 movies for people.
Nah.
And then they get in the back end, we got paid. That shit's gonna start at 25, 35, 45. You know what I mean? Depending on what you want.
Facts.
So, but like this, the piggyback off of what Dre was saying is your knowledge and what you know how to do. Like I know how to, I know how to edit. I cut a little bit. I can do a little bit of sound design. Those are things that may cost $15,000 in post, $10,000 in post. But if I know how to do it, I ain't gonna charge myself. You know what I mean? So the best thing about it is right now Tubi has, opportunities for you could invest and learn and be able to learn and be able to make money back and put back into those projects. But it's not as lucrative for. Let me go back. Because Houston has been doing well, there's some filmmakers in Houston who have profited well in movies, right? I'm gonna say 4 or 5 of them for sure, right?
He one of them, y'all.
It's a lot of people who think that that shit easy, we can do it,
right?
And then they get out there, they spend the money, and then they shit don't come back, and they like, man, something ain't right. It was even when I came in, it was 1% of people who was making the money that the ones we hear about making. So when you look at it like that, it's not really changing. It's just more people getting into it, so you recognizing that 1% is a lot. You know what I mean? If it's only 20 movies out there and you hear one person, you know what I mean? You hear it's 100 movies out there, and one person did it. It don't seem like it's impossible, right? When you start seeing 10,000, 20,000 movies, and then you're like, damn, only 100 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seemed crazier, but it's the same percentage that's being successful. Y'all got to, you know what I mean? Obviously, if it's your first time shooting, don't go out and spend $25,000, $35,000, $45,000. Try to get that shit out the mud. Try to put the best, you know what I mean? If you don't have the money to hire Dre or somebody to direct it or do something like that, if you just got $5,000 to do it yourself, try to build the best team.
Do your short film.
Yeah, do your short film. Really,
do your short film.
If you can't make, if you can't do it, but it's not like you can throw it on there and make the money. You're gonna lose your money.
And then too, to piggyback on what he's saying, I think that's a big misconception too. Like, we can make a movie, throw it out there, we finna get rich. No, that is not the case. When you look at people like him, myself. It's a lot that goes into the background of that, like the building that. And I'm not saying that as if I've been around long as he have, but I haven't. But what I've did was actually took the time, invested in the things I need to invest in to be able to call this man on the phone like, hey, come do my podcast that only got 15 subscribers. So I say that to say you got to get in somewhere. And whatever you choose to get in at, you gotta grind. This shit is a grind.
And let me say that too. For those you don't know, Dre started. But one thing that separates Dre from people who started a few years ago when he started, is Dre will be on set and he'll listen. He'll hear, oh shit, I need one of those. Dre didn't order that bitch before we stopped shooting today.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I ran into my boy at the gas station, and I was like, oh shit, that's the man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when you see people on the internet, you know what I'm saying, when you see, personalities, characters, it's always just like, damn, you'll probably never bump into these people in real life. And then when you bump into certain people, you don't expect to bump into them like that. Like, bump into this man pushing his car was like, it was crazy, and it was humbling to me, because it's like, oh shit, this nigga just here a regular nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit happens. Like, niggas get tired and don't want to put gas in their car, and it happened. And like I said, I just appreciate the fact that, you know what I'm saying, when on my entry into the game, a nigga went on no shit like, oh, you ain't did enough yet, or oh, you ain't did this, that, and the third yet. So when it and that's another reason too why I'm so big on giving opportunities, because in the city, you'll hear about people, you'll hear about a lot of the bad shit, like, oh, don't work with this person, oh, don't work with that person, which y'all need to stop that shit too, because that ain't good for the culture, that ain't good for what we trying to do. But I say all that to say, like, I haven't had a bad experience because I feel like in my own right, people like this man knows what people like this man know when somebody taking something serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you getting counted out, if you getting bullshitted, I think because whoever is in charge knows the difference. You know what I'm saying? Can you agree to that? Like,
No, for sure. I think it's touch on a couple things. Is one, I mean, obviously, if we got an opportunity in Houston to be somewhere we hadn't been in film industry ever, if an independent film at least, and obviously because of that, it's gonna be a lot of division because you kind of got that crab in the bucket. Some people got that crab in the bucket mentality, and they want you. You know what I mean? I guess people feel like to 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 be successful, somebody else has to look bad, right? But I think you ain't never seen Lion Gates and MGM fighting. Like, they don't give a fuck. Like, it's art. We gonna put this out. You can put that out, and they gonna watch my shit, and they gonna still go watch your shit. There's no point to talk shit. I mean, you know what I mean? Even if it's people not paying or whatever case may be, like, that's their situation with those people. And as actors, you kind of gotta obviously protect yourself, sign the contracts, make sure that you know what I mean, you choose who you want to work with and not work with. But for to go out and be like, nah, don't do that, don't do that. Everybody's situation may be different. You know what I mean? And we gotta stick together as filmmakers uh, to, and then hold each other accountable too. At the same time, other filmmakers like, bro, you know you're wrong. Maybe not publicly, but you may call them, bro. You know you're wrong for that shit. You know you got to make sure this happen. You know what I mean? So it's that's how Houston, I think, always lose the ball, because as soon as somebody throws some money over here, these niggas fight. We fighting over it. You know what I mean? So I think if it's gonna be here longer if we could find a way to support the industry here. And it's gonna be better for everybody. You know what I mean? Because if I'm successful, the next person successful, the money is flowing, and then more people gonna come investors. The one thing about people with money, they like to make money. You're never gonna have a problem with people investing in your films if all the films making money. It's gonna be more investors coming to Houston. It's like the real estate, motherfuckers come to Houston or come to the places where if you got a gold rush, people don't give a fuck what y'all got going on. Y'all got gold, we coming. Right? But if the gold leave, the money leave, right? So if we get along and we continue to build each other up and the industry gets stronger, more money come in. Right? So there's more room for everybody. If you're trying to be the only person who films make money or only person successful, then if 10 films fail, one film does good, investors like, nah, that shit ain't a good. 10% or 1% chance, 10% chance, I'll make my money back. So if we help each other make better movies, help each other in better situations so they can make their money back, it's gonna be better for the industry. It's gonna be better for the state of Texas. And shit, it's people who, I think we shot 20 some movies last year. So you know what I mean. I know it was actors who made 20, 30, 40 bands off of us last year. You know what I mean?
So do you think that a good method is finding you a solid team, whether it's actors, producers, writers, and just grinding it out? Because I see a lot of like you work with a lot of the same people. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the celebrities, the people on the come up, I see a lot in your film. So
I think one of the best things that I think one of the things that worked for me, and I think would put me in this position that I put with, is just my team. I think for for me, when you see Yella, you know, you see Jamal, you see Squeeze, you see I'm finna forget some niggas, but if you when you see the people who
Yeah,
I'm
my
with,
nigga got real niggas on his
yeah,
team, like
yeah,
real head busters.
yeah,
These
when
niggas
when
just
you see
doing film.
you see my boy Ant, my brother, whatever, when you see some of those people where they not active but they look the right role and shit, those are people who was man, we was coming together. Hey man, you know $2,000-3,000. We was fucking off money trying to learn how to do this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's my cousin Carlos. Oh boy, that nigga would kill me. My nigga Carlos put a back. You know, he invested bags and us trying to, you know what I mean, equipment, film equipment. We ain't fucking, you know how to use the shit. We just
Right.
buying shit. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that that Antoine Johnson. I mean, it's so many people who I feel like believed in what I was trying to do, and we made it a thing. And I think we got good together.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's what you've seen with the help of my boy Choco for sure too. But I think that's what you've seen in Red Flags and how successful that was because we had trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. You know what I mean? Where we failed a lot of times trying to just figure this shit out. Because, like I say, ain't nobody was in school for that shit.
Right.
Now one of us went to school. I think Antoine, my boy Antoine Johnson, went to school for the shit. And then he went to law school. But we didn't go to school for the shit. So a lot of us, we just learned from trial and error. Like, you know, we had to go through the fire to the point where it was like, okay, we've been spending a lot of money. The first film, I think we spent $35,000-$40,000 on the original Rise, one we just put out. The one I just we did the screening for. It's finna come out probably next month. We shot that shit down there 10 years ago. And it should look immaculate. You know what I mean? Shout out to David Wynn. Jeff shot it. So I think at that point, I tried it. You know what I mean? Where you want everything to be like you see on TV, crispy and the best cameras, and it just that shit was 8 years of throwing money at shit. I think my boy Jannard Harper, he was like already on kind of like the independent type of Tubi type of thing with Maverick and shit like that, and he was doing his own shit. And I don't know where the fuck I heard somebody made somewhere I was like, somebody told me somebody made a lot of money on. Who else I know on Tubi? So I hit my boy Jannard. Jannard, bro, they paying like that, bro? He was like, man, I heard this person make this much, and I was like, man, you gotta be crashing, man. I promise you, I was like, man, I'm gonna figure this shit out. I promise you, I'm gonna figure it. We're gonna have a deal soon. I'm gonna figure it out. So, I called Choco right when I got a phone. Like, Choco, I'm gonna do like a serial killer movie. But you're gonna be a serial killer, and you just gonna kill him. I'm just gonna make a Lifetime type of film. You know what I mean? 3 days later, we was not even a week later, we was shooting at it. Shit, my boy Yellow holding the goddamn boom. We don't do none of that shit. But one of the things that kind of gave us, and shout out to Swedes and Dre Slim and Rico Allen for helping me with this film. But that was really one of the first times we just did that shit by ourselves. Both Eyes Open, which originally was like a commercial for some shit, and then we was like, we can make this a series, you know what I mean? So we made it a series. But that's the first time, like me, Jamar, Yellow, we just was doing like the fucking crew work.
Yeah.
I was filming. I hate that shit. I hate holding cameras and shit, but we had to get it done. But that was when we realized, like, we can shoot a movie like goddamn stuff. So then, obviously, AJ and Kelly shot Red Flags, but we did that, and then Choco came in, and we didn't really pay. We didn't get paid up front. You know? It's like, shit, you're going to get percentage, and then that shit went crazy. You know what I mean? So that, it was good because to be able to make money with the people who you started with is rare sometimes. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I think separate us from a lot of other people is because we done it with no money.
Right.
You know what I mean? We know you give us money, we can do it, but we know how to go back to the drawing board and say, fuck it, we doing this shit for free. We'll go do another one. You know what I mean?
So go back to what we said, and originally, you got to get out there and do the work. You don't give a damn what you buy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can make a movie for X amount of dollars, but you got to get out there and do the work. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I remember Red Flag. That shit was on some like what's that one Netflix show?
It's crazy because a lot of people compare it to you.
Yeah, you.
I think it's that running scene.
Yeah,
That running
yeah.
scene.
And then that hat when he got the hat, he slide by like.
Yeah, that running
You know what I'm
scene.
saying? Yeah.
Wait till we finna drop. I just sent off the Red Flags 2. We already finished talking about trying to do shoot Red Flags 3 in about a month or so.
Yeah.
Choco got the phone last night, so definitely Red Flags 2 coming. It's better in every sense of the way. That was Choco first time acting, and he did a good job in the first one. But the second one thing about Choco is he want to be perfect in
Right.
certain shit. So, you know, he everything he do, people think, you know, it's a lot of people who post videos and they get lucky, and it's a lot of people who don't really know why they, you know what I mean, so they can't duplicate it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about Choco, like he take that shit personal. He'll go and he gonna look at his, you know, he gonna look at everything. He gonna say, okay, this is good, this is not good. Like if I post something, y'all, he be like, you shouldn't have posted it right now. You should post this. So he takes pride in the craft of, you know, of social media and shit. You know.
Yeah, he know his shit. Man, I got a funny story. So Choco had came to my old studio, did a skit. He had my number. I think I got his number on the set of Lace. When I had came took the photos for you.
Mm-hmm.
So he had end up. I don't know if I don't want to say too much, but I don't know if somebody he's involved with got they first name, they first letter D. But he sent me like $500 on Zelle one time. And he was like, this for such and such. And I was like, And I'm thinking like, when I seen the Zelle notification, I'm like, damn, somebody, this for a booking or something? Like, damn. It like $500 something. I called him like, hey bro, you meant to send me that money? He was like, what money? I'm like, bro, I just got $500 from you on Zelle. I shot it back to him. But he didn't even know like that it went to the wrong person. So I was like, nah, I ain't gonna be a hoe ass nigga. Like, let me send this nigga shit back.
That's
so
crazy.
I know that's one of the things. I know like with people it's crazy because I have like so many real life, real nigga scenarios with people like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's a plus for me and how I'm able to move forward just by being genuine with people in the industry. You know what I'm saying? So
and it's hard. Like a lot. I'm gonna say this the right way.
Oh shit, y'all.
No, I'm getting better now, but normally like because a lot of them did go to film school.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them was in drama in school in high school, so they different.
Mm-hmm.
In social type of skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I just didn't want to be around a lot of, you know what I mean? I knew someone was cool, you cool, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So me not just trying to be in the mix, I think stopped a lot of growth too, because I feel like, man, I ain't finna, that shit kind of weird. You know what I mean? So certain things I would stay away from because I was like, nah, it's different. You know what I mean?
Man, that's funny. That's funny that you say that because like now, like when I first came in, I just wanted to do my thing, go home, boop. You know what I'm saying? Even like on set, like I ain't never just hanging out. Like I'm coming, working, I'm leaving. You know what I'm saying? So like now that the I'm doing more films. I'm stepping outside of, you know what I'm saying, my bubble of people that I like to work with. Shit, when I be on set now, it's like it's down there like Malibu's Most Wanted. Like they wanna know the nitty-gritty side of it. Like they wanna get involved. Like they like, yeah, take me to the trenches. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So
it brings a different real. It just brings a realer.
Yeah,
art is real.
And too, like, you get to. It's easy to do shit when you can just go into a locker and get this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But when they come out here in the field, it's like, all right, well, we ain't got this, so you know how to do it without this, so I need to, you know what I'm saying, fool with you. Like I'm like, man, I've met, you know what I'm saying, so many film students that shit, I'm learning the terminology like from them. So like I know me and my films, like I'm about to start reaching out to like more students, you know what I'm saying, just to
educate them and put them in situations.
Yeah.
One like you talked about me, you know what I mean. You not having like the crazy experience is because I look at it like shit. I ain't go to school for this shit, nigga.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, motherfucker, like, mom, I give you no money to shoot. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
not doing this. You ain't go to school for this. So it's like, in my situation, I like dealing with the real shit. I see somebody at the store. If I feel like this nigga got to look or this girl got to look to be in the
Mm-hmm.
what you do, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to hate watching them damn Law and Order movies or some shit. Every part of the movie be good, then they arrest a nigga and the nigga square as fuck. He be like, this nigga ain't, come on, bro.
This nigga ain't never committed a crime.
Yeah, this motherfucker look like he act, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I used to always, since I like crime drama, I used to always look for people who had that looking at, you know what I mean? I want you to be able to act, but you know what I mean? You can learn that. You can't really master a look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what you got, you know what I mean? So I think I always look for, the roses, roses grow from the concrete because I feel like it's just a raw. If it works, it works. You can't duplicate it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I got you. Yeah, man. So the last thing I wanna touch on before we get up out of here. Well, I got two things, but the last question I want to ask is, what was the worst experience you had? You know what I'm saying? While directing, filming, like what was one of the bad experiences that you had during your journey on the filmmaking side?
I mean, I've been pretty. I mean, things gonna happen. If you think you finna get in this thing and it don't go wrong, I think what makes. And I was just telling somebody the other day. I think I was telling the distributor to Tubi, and he was just kind of giving me some accolades and stuff. And I was like, at the end of the day, it's like, for one, it takes. If we could do this at 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 budgets, you don't think that we could do this at $1 million, $2 million, $200 million budget, right? Because at that point, you pay people to stop shit from happening. You getting the best people to do certain things. So if I could direct a $50,000 movie, I could damn sure direct a $5 million movie. So those little things, this problems are really making you stronger. That's the pressure that's making the diamond. Those little bitty trouble. But because, like, for instance, I think I would say one of the times I'm like, fuck, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. We was in Puerto Rico, and they had told us that we could shoot there inside the hotel, and it was like the last night that we was in Puerto Rico, and we shooting, everything going good. Then I guess I don't know how to pronounce them correctly. I think sheiks. It was like these very rich Persians or Eastern, Southeast. Not Southeastern, but I don't know where they from, but they was rich as fuck. They was hopping out of damn gold car. They was rich as shit in Puerto Rico, and they pulled up to the hotel, and I guess they couldn't be recorded. And we obviously on the floors with cameras, so they shut us down. The whole crew was mad, and they shut us down in the middle of the scene, so we couldn't. There was no way we was gonna be able to finish it. In Puerto Rico, the last night that we there, and people mad. Rosie going at him in Spanish because she's standing on their neck, but they wasn't budging. So it was one of them things where it was like, man, it's just crazy, like, because you down there on the dollar, you got to spend. How you gonna shoot this scene in Houston when we already shot the other part of it, so it had to be somewhere in Puerto Rico. So. But even then, I think I'm good at pressure. Like, instead of just, I left the hotel once I knew we couldn't do it, and I shit on foot. I ran around the whole fucking island, bro. I'm like, what the fuck we gonna shoot? And I found a bar on a rooftop, the skyline in the background. We ended up shooting there. Dude let us shoot for free, and the scene looked dope. You know what I mean? So I think it's always gonna be some bad shit to happen, but you gotta, especially in the independent world, you have to be able to not let anything affect you, because you're going to have enough people trying to derail you anyway. You need to be able to be, you know what I mean, strong skinned and be able to say, okay, this don't work, then this gonna have to work. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to kind of be assertive. Like you can't take the no's. You gonna say, okay, I can't do it here. Where I gotta figure some out. So you, as a writer, director, creator, you always have to have alternative.
You gotta be quick on your feet.
Yeah, because you know, people don't realize how hard it is to like. Even and this is real quick to talk about this because I think that it's a lot of Tubi slander and it's a lot of terrible films on Tubi. I ain't gonna say it's not,
Yeah.
but you know, I think the difference of it is I feel like it's the nature of people. Like I never look at shit and be like, how that nigga got in the bins. This
Right.
nigga, I don't know where he get that from.
Right.
That's just never been my nature. You know what I mean? To look at somebody who got something on something and then try to knock them for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's what's happening in Tubi is you got a lot of people who film, but you gotta understand that stuff too. It's not easy making a film.
It ain't.
Right?
It ain't.
So when you put a film out there, that person may be the first film they ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Right? One thing about film that I appreciate is not like the other sports I talked about was you can dribble a fucking ball till you can't dribble no more. You still ain't gonna be good if you ain't good.
Right.
You can get better,
Right.
but you ain't gonna never make the NBA because you got taught how to play basketball.
Right.
Filmmaking, not acting, because that's different. But filmmaking, I can learn how to frame. If I practice and I study, I can learn how to frame.
Mm-hmm.
I may not move and you know what I mean, be poetic with my movements and shit, but I can frame up shots. I can do soap operas and Lifetime films and shit. It's simple, light everything. You could be a good filmmaker by learning, right? So I understand people don't know no better and they talking, but it's a lot of filmmakers talking about other people's films when they film may cost $50,000. This nigga film may cost $2,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you don't know that, you know what I mean? Instead of
that
talking
process,
shit, call that person like, man, look, this is what you do. You ain't got the budget. Do this. Use this. Do this. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. That's the thing that make everybody better. Because we making this. It's at the end of the day, not that you make it about black or white. It's black people right now who's making money, who ain't had time to sell no dope because they making so much money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's what should be applauded, and it's just like people just focused on. Nobody talking about Braveheart, niggas wearing Nikes. In Braveheart, you be talking about 1200 BC. You know what I mean?
Yeah, how they got Nikes?
Yeah, this planes file in the background. You don't see niggas on that talking about, oh, look at this shit. Starbucks got, you know, what is that? Game of Thrones. I love that shit. They got Starbucks in the fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are $100 million movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we always hating on each other. If it don't look good, cool. Keep it pushing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Watch what is good, right? Or if you're gonna offer some information, say, hey, look, you could do this or this nigga do this. I think we just so destructive to each other.
Yeah.
That you know what I mean. People see that, and it's gonna take away people money.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna say, okay, you think Tubi want to be known for
Bad movies? Right.
Because they got all the $100 million movies on there. What they gonna do is say, okay, make it harder for these niggas to put that shit on there. So then now people not making money. You know what I mean? So you know, and it's not gonna be everybody. And it should be some type of quality control.
Right.
But at the same time,
the opportunity is there.
It's like, how many people giving, how many places can you make $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $800,000, $900,000 on a movie that you spent less than $35,000 for?
Right. And shout out to Tubi, because I was talking about that too. I was like on last episode, I spoke on that about the resources. Like, you know, instead of criticizing somebody, you know, jump on the phone with them, you know what I'm saying? Instead of making it all about competition, you know, let's put the resources together, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's like, you know, shout out to Tubi for giving people a chance, because shit, a lot of motherfuckers wouldn't even be in the industry if it wasn't for Tubi. A lot of people would still be twiddling their thumbs trying to figure out how they gonna chase their dreams, you know what I'm saying? Or how they gonna deliver their product to a million people across the country, you know what I'm saying? So, cause shit, Netflix ain't gonna do it, you know? So I tell people all the time, like, you know, you gotta start somewhere. And starting on the Tubi blast and building up your catalog, getting better and better and better and better. One day you will be on the HBO Maxes and the Stars and all this, that, and the third. So, yeah, man, don't look down on the Tubi because of the hate that you hear from it, look at it for the opportunity that it's giving independent filmmakers. Because it wasn't one before this outside of YouTube, and only to get recognized on YouTube, motherfucker got to really go to YouTube and look for your shit.
Yeah, and then
you know what I'm saying?
You know, the same thing is like this here is like the people who talking now on Tubi probably not even on Tubi.
I ain't on Tubi.
And they probably not even on another fucking platform.
Mm-mm.
Right? The people who like if you can have the best movie on Tubi, it's a nigga on Netflix looking at your movie like it's trash.
Mm-hmm.
You have the best movie on Netflix. There's some people Dick whooped them like, nah, I do that shit out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about art is it's subjective. It's films that doing great that somebody think trash. It don't fucking matter. It's art.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's just people find out people make money. I think it's just natural. It's in some people's nature just to hate on people trying to do something. That's what the same people who work in the 9-to-5 jobs, who got ideas that they can make them some money. They comfortable being negative. You know what I mean? And that's really what it is, man. Because if you respect anybody jumping out there trying to make something, that's one thing. If it's damn better, you know what I mean, you spend $1 million,
right? And you know your shit fucked up.
You know what I mean. That's one thing. You know what I mean. But a lot of these people are just
don't know.
They don't know. They see the opportunity, and they always thought about doing movies. They always want to do movies, and they jumped out there. If my first movie was on Tubi, shit. You know what I mean? Tubi wouldn't exist because my first movie would have been on Tubi. Right. Whatever I would have shot would have been on Tubi because I'd have put it out and it would not have been good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
So this is what.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you for coming through, fooling with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shannon, amazing filmmaking in the city, man. We gonna get out of here. It's been real. Sorry I was filming. You know what I'm saying? That's what we live by. That's what we do. Powered by Game Unplugged. We gonna get it at y'all.